There are good sides and bad sides of having a phone. The bad sides are having to talk to people on it. The good sides are having an excuse to not talk to people on it. The end. Only joking, but it is a kind of excuse to avoid talking to people. If you're in a group, you can be on your phone and people will just think you're preoccupied with it. Let's face it, even extroverts can be glued to their phones a lot these days. Although, it usually won't be too long before they're gabbing again. But they do say phones are making people in general more unsociable, and to that I say, good. But if you're always on it, I guess people are probably going to assume you're a socially awkward misfit like me. But hey, it's better to be on your phone doing something rather than just sat there not talking and not doing anything like I would have been a lot in the old days. So it's become like a security blanket in a way. A security blanket right up to the point when it starts ringing. Then it can turn from friend into foe. Of course, you can always put your phone on silent. Don't forget to put your phone on silent. I didn't forget, I did it years ago. But I do want to be able to hear my notifications. For example, texts or emails, the good form of communication, unless they start calling you midway through a text conversation, of course. I know there's probably a way to turn calls off only, but I don't get enough calls for it to be an issue, really, and I can't be bothered to finding out how to do it, to be honest. But I probably should, just so I can avoid any awkwardness of it ringing in a place where I don't want it to, i.e. anywhere, but especially in a quiet, crowded room or something. Sometimes phone calls are unavoidable though. Sometimes people will insist on a call. For example, business related things always want to do these Zoom calls and stuff. And if I need to phone somewhere for information, and this is the only way of getting through, I need to hype myself up for the call. This little hyping up ceremony involves pacing up and down, rehearsing what I need to say, sometimes writing it down. Also drinking lots of water just in case my mouth decides to dry up mid-conversation, which it often does. I don't get a phone signal where I live in my little hovel. That can be a good thing, i.e. no phone calls getting through, although it does make it annoying when I need to send or receive texts. For example, when I need to sign up for a website and they need to send a code to my phone. Then I have to quickly go outside, try and get a signal, which sometimes means running down to the end of the street and then dashing back in to put the code in, only for it to then say, expired. So yeah, that is really annoying. So when outside, when I have a signal, I do get calls every now and then. Good luck, I don't even answer numbers I know. So, phones can be good. There's so much you can do on a phone these days. It's come a long way from just being the thing where you have to talk to people on phone calls, and there seems to be an app for everything. Also, you can communicate through typing rather than speaking, which is great. The problem is though, when they call right after you've texted them. For example, if they've texted you asking if you're busy, and you've made the rookie error of saying no. However, always remember, you don't have to answer if you don't want to.